Okay, here we are, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing? Neil, we're back again. Is it me or has the weekend just flown
What?
by? Now we've got football back.
Oh, do you know what? I had Izzy all weekend, so I did not get an opportunity to watch any of the football.
You didn't?
It
Oh,
upset
really?
me. No, I saw none of it. None of
Oh
it.
no.
I've seen the results and things like that, so I know obviously Dortmund gave Schalke a bit of a spanking,
Yeah, just a bit.
and a couple of other results on there. Yeah, but no, I didn't get to see any games.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I don't
Feel
even
for
know
you,
what I'm
mate.
paying for BT Sport for, mate. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm paying for it for. I don't even watch it.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to the conversation we was having before we went on air, which obviously we're not allowed to talk about now, because it involves mentioning certain names within our household. Um, Hi, Mum. Hi, Grant. How are we all doing? How is everyone? Is everyone having a fine Monday? I'm not gonna lie, I'm buzzing, but I'm just absolutely knackered. I'm so tired, so tired. I had a rather exciting, busy weekend, and now I am struggling, big time. I think Neil's fallen asleep.
I'm Yeah, no. I'm. As I said to you, I've got
He's
the
asleep,
iPad in
guys.
front of me. Just wanted to point out on my iPad, it's still showing that we are just starting soon.
Is it? No. Well, it's up on my screen, so
Oh, in that case, it's fine. I'll just turn this one off.
yeah, I would.
We'll do that. We will do that. I'll have none of it.
So you didn't get to see any of
Cool.
the
Yes.
football from the weekend. Have you seen any of the goals? Have
No,
you seen any of the play or not? None, not whatsoever.
no, not really.
Damn.
No. She only went this morning, so she got picked up first thing this morning. So
Oh,
she's
I
been
remember
here
you
the whole
said she
time,
said
and
till
then I've
Monday.
been
Yeah.
working today. Yeah.
No crumbs. Oh
So
well.
unfortunately, and obviously
You got a lot of
busy
catching up
last
to do.
night and didn't just have. Yeah. I'll catch up on the goals at some point. They'll be somewhere, won't they? They'll be all over.
Yeah, mate. I mean, 'cause they showed every Bundesliga game. There's a game on now, isn't there? There's a game tonight. Is it?
Yeah, there is. Leverkusen.
Bremen against Leverkusen. I think I'm right in saying. Yeah, I
Possibly. Yeah,
think it might be.
I'm pretty sure I saw something to say Leverkusen in the plan tonight.
Damn, I
So
should get that on my other screen. I should be sitting here watching that. Fuck. Oh well, that's the thing. That's another time. we should have our own Monday night
yeah,
football.
that won't be distracted, will it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do our Monday night football. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I think it could be Jamie Carragher. I'll just punch myself in the nose. Sorry, Gary
Yeah, I was
Neville.
going to say you do that.
Yeah, that when you talk
I was going to say I'm not.
for Bury.
Either way, I'm not being Jamie Cat. Can I be Dave James?
Be who you want, Neil. You could be whoever you
Yeah,
want.
I'll be the host of the show. I don't want to be Carragher or Neville.
No, yeah, fair enough. So yeah, I think it was quite interesting, to be fair, seeing the games behind closed doors, no crowds in there. It was strange, so strange. It was like a training match. Watching some of the games. I mean, to be fair, watching the Dortmund Schalke, it was like a training match for Dortmund. So it's carved them to
Schalke
pieces.
were poor from what I heard.
They were dreadful. Yeah, I mean, I was embarrassed with my having the 900 chairs in Weston McKennie that I had. I mean, he had a shocker.
I'm
Geez, yeah.
more upset that his share price didn't drop down.
No, I was chuffed. Yeah, chuffed. Yeah, very happy with that. So yeah,
Yeah.
feeling very smug. That's probably why I'm so
cool.
happy. Probably why I'm so happy. I'm gonna go with that. Okay, well, because you didn't see any of the football, I can't really debate any of it. Damn, balls.
Oh, you can ask the question. You can ask the questions. As I say, if you can debate.
I've already
I
asked the
can
question.
say-
Neil, did you see it? No. Oh well, moving on. I can't ask any more questions than that, can I?
You can debate amongst yourself. I'll just
The
interject
only
as
debating I do is
and when-
masturbating. So.
Brilliant.
Hey.
Talking of that,
No.
no. That's actually a very, very
Now, Neil.
impressive.
Now. We don't want to get kicked off
unplanned
Twitch.
link. Very impressive, unplanned link. So today, whilst having a little look through, or this evening, having a little look through to see what's going on with the Project Restart stuff for the Premier League,
I'm interested to see where this is going.
right? So, Project Restart, pile of crap. Essentially, it's agreed that they can go back and train.
I thought I heard
with a
something else.
view.
I saw that Manchester United put like an official statement about training up on their Facebook. I mean, what? So what is the crack?
Yeah.
Fill me in.
So they have said that with testing at training grounds and things like that, that they will allow teams to resume training, with an idea of resumption of the Premier League by mid-June. if
Right.
everything goes to plan.
Okay.
Okay. That was it. That was kind of what was expected. That was what came out of it. What was interesting is as I was scrolling through the news feed, you sometimes get these little adverts or a news article from somewhere else.
Yeah.
It came up with IKEA released a statement regarding banning masturbation within their stores.
What?
So,
Okay, that raises the question: why wasn't it there in the first place?
what? Who's going to IKEA, especially to have a tug? But it all came about. I mean, I know they've got a lot of white clean sofas, haven't they? But
You wouldn't know.
it came about because apparently, in China, a Chinese woman was filmed, obviously by her boyfriend. She wore a long white shirt, and then she sat on one of the sofas, unbuttoned it, and then had a little look around, little play. It was all filmed, and then it went live. It went onto YouTube. It was all that. You could see the IKEA things in the background, everything else. Now, that has now meant that my summer has been ruined twice. Both times by
Why?
China.
Because you can't go to IKEA and have a bit of personal loving.
No football, and I cannot enjoy myself in IKEA this year.
Oh, your two favourite pastimes have been ruined. Damn.
I know.
Man, we should set up like a Just Giving just for you.
Exactly. I mean, it's
Find
either
another hobby for
normally
Neil.
angry one or celebration one. But
Well,
Anyway,
I feel sorry for anyone who's
football.
watching this for the first time. We don't normally talk about masturbation. It's usually much more football orientated. Neil, how many drinks have you had already?
well, that one, that much.
Oh, only that one?
Which, yeah.
Okay.
What concerns me more that in amongst Project Restart news on the web, that came up as an IKEA advert. Now, I think it's because I've been looking for loads of stuff furniture-wise and wood and timber merchants and things like that, and obviously IKEA's then come up, but that is obviously the main trending news article for IKEA at the moment. So it came up as brilliant. Love it.
If you say so. I mean, geez, if you're looking for building material, just make sure you don't go and look for 9-inch nails on Google. Don't think you'll get what you're looking for, mate. Trying to pull this show back onto some kind of unsmuttiness. So, yeah.
Put it back to the football.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Must be something in the air. Spanish fly this weekend.
Yeah. I'm not sorry. Start on a high point.
It's all downhill from here. Jesus Christ. Change it from down the local to down the trousers. Good shout, Grant. Grant knows.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, less about masturbation. Stop it, everyone. Stop it.
Cool.
Stop it. Behave, everyone. Now, please. Neil, what are you drinking? And don't say something silly.
Local glass. Out of the special glass. Every time.
As always, yeah.
Yeah, you got to do it. Got to keep it true, ain't you?
Hell yeah.
Bud.
Bud.
I honestly could not be. I know it's only around the corner, but we went for a walk at lunchtime today around Whitlingham, and I could not be bothered to go round to Sainsbury's and queue there at lunchtime as well.
Oh,
So
fair play.
I popped into the post office over the road, and they'll do me a solid. I have the choice of Bud or Foster's or Stella in there, and I can't stand Foster's, and I'm not intending to beat the missus later, so I had to go for Bud.
Fair enough. I decided to treat myself and get on the Elvis juice tonight.
Elvis juice, nice.
Yeah. Have you ever had Elvis juice?
That sounds not straight from the tap, no.
And here's me trying to get it back onto something less smuttiness. Neil, just go have a cold shower or something.
Mate,
Go have a cold
I've
shower.
had a good weekend.
Cooch just said,
is
sorry to
gonna
leave you
leave us
lads, I'm
'cause
off
he's
to
gonna
Google 9
Google-
Inch Nails. Dirty bastard.
Oh, he'll be sorely disappointed. Yes.
He will. You'll hear the
Anyway,
sort of shit you
football.
hear earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah, football. We like football. Football's good. Okay,
Cool.
so the premise for tonight is we're going to have a little bit of a talk about what has inspired both of us on and off a football pitch. What players have inspired us for the way that we play. Some things that we have used in our game that we've seen other players do. And then later on, we're going to have our ultimate goal of the Premier League decade draw. So we have all 32 goals in the Magic Bowl. So the goals that are in there are the 27 that have been voted by BBC as goal of the year during the Premier League era. There are 4 that are in there that were in FA Cup ties, so they still go in. There's 27, say 27 completed seasons in the Premier League, plus we had 3 special picks from the show on Thursday from Grant, Coop and George. We had Van Persie's volley against Charlton from Grant. We had Ronaldo's free kick against Portsmouth from George. And we had Safi's goal against Newcastle from Coop. So those 3 went in there. That's making 30. We had 30. And then me and Neil decided on 2 more. We had 2 more goals. And we both miscounted and thought we already had 31, so we had to pick one of the 2. And then realised we had 30, so we've got to put both in. So so we've got 2 special mentions in there as well, which when they come out in the draw, obviously we'll explain those and probably elaborate a bit more on our reasons why during the draw. But tonight is purely the draw. We will not be voting on any goals tonight. What's going to happen in the concurrent shows after this is we're going to be having a face-off between those goals. So tonight is the draw. We're going to pick one goal against the other, and then we're going to pit themselves against each other in the following shows, and the viewers are going to decide on which one wins. So if you're watching tonight, please come join in on the following shows to make sure that your favourite goal goes through to the next round. Obviously, once we've completed the round of 16, we'll then go into our quarterfinals.
What we will also do is, as we go through the draw, I'll write down them all, and we will get them put onto the Facebook page.
Thank you.
So people can go and peruse those goals on YouTube or wherever they so wish in the meantime, so you've got a clear idea of who you want to vote for when it comes up.
Yeah, so obviously we're going to be debating those goals as well when they're going up. They will be shown live on the show, but obviously we can't replay them on YouTube and Facebook and all that good stuff because of copyright laws. So they will be live on the show, so if you don't get a chance to look them up, we will be showing them to you when we have the vote. So you'll be able to make a snap judgment there and then. The vote will go on for the length of the show, so the show usually lasts about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I'm sure we'll probably do it at the beginning, and then we'll replay at the end, and then we'll tally up all the votes, and we've decided who's going to go through. I haven't quite made my mind up on how many to do each show. I was sort of thinking 3 face-offs, but that leaves us with an odd number at the end.
It does, yeah.
But we could always do like 4 on the last show, and
we could do it as 4s all the way through those as well.
Yeah, we could do it on 4s. Happy to do 4s. So that's 8 goals per show, so everyone's going to get plenty of entertainment. We're going to have plenty to talk about. So we'll be able to drink more. So I'm up with that.
Yeah.
So cool. Okay, so
Not
that is how
bound
it's
by
going to work.
I like it.
That's how it's going to work. We'll put that out on the socials so that guys who have been unable to join this show, but they're going to be joining the next few, they'll understand how it's going to work. But yeah, please make sure you come back for those future ones. We can't wait to see who's going to get put against each other. Well, too late, Grant. Sorry, mate. Okay, so Neil, before we get on to the big draw later on in the show,
yes,
who has been some of your inspirations whilst you was on a football pitch? Now, I know we've talked, and when you was playing as a footballer, you more tack-minded as a footballer. I remember saying that when you was a kid and sort of playing in youth teams, you were playing as like a striker in a 1-2 up front. So when you
as a kid, when I first started playing. I mean, I played at school and things like that. Played for the schools, but I think I joined a team. I was there for about a year, but as a kid, I was really tall. I don't think I've grown since I was about 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that kind of worked in my favour because to start with, I I would say at best I was a tidy footballer, but I
Mm.
was all gangly, all arms and legs and things like that.
You were a bit like a sort
So
of Peter Crouch when you were younger, almost, just very
to an
sort of
extent, yeah. But what
yeah.
happened was anywhere I went, because I was tall, everyone was like, "Oh, you must be a goalkeeper."
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, nah.
Did you ever have
I
to put any
played in
gloves
goal
on?
for
Did they ever force you to go in goal?
yeah, yeah. I played in goal for my school for 1 year.
Really? Bloody hell.
Only because at that point in time I'd stopped. I played for a club the year before. Then I went to my school, so it would have been year 8. They'd done the trials, and I genuinely didn't think I'd get into the team as a player. So I went to the trials as a goalkeeper,
Mm.
and I played in goal for the year.
Mm.
And I would say at best I was average.
Mm.
At worst I was awful. I seemed to have one really, really good game and then an absolute mare.
Okay.
So it
Not
was
what you want in a
yeah.
goalkeeper.
So
Then you need a
there
bit
was
of
no
consistency, don't you?
You do. And in the last game of the season, so the team I was then playing for, I was playing up front in a 3 for a
Mm.
team, and we had the guy who played in goal for us was at our school, and he was playing wide left,
Oh, really?
and our PE
It's a
teacher
better
wouldn't
check.
switch it around. It was ridiculous. He wouldn't switch it around. So I then just didn't turn up for the last game of the season. So
Oh,
he
really?
then went in goal and he played in goal for the rest of the time. And
Sneaky.
I didn't get picked for the last game of the season because I hadn't rocked up. And then PE teacher wouldn't pick me for the first game of the next season. There was a mini revolt, and then I played from then on. But yeah, I played as an attacking. I was never an out and out forward,
No.
but I think by the time I got to 15, 16, I'd kind of grown into my body, got used to it,
Mm.
and everyone else was having growth spurts. And that's when I kind of came to the fore, and
Yeah.
I was quick, I was quite strong, but I was very direct.
Mm.
Um, and I used to, a lot of teams at the time had started to play 3-5-2, and I'd always play
Oh,
as like
really?
an attacking
That
midfielder.
early?
There was no, I think 96 it started, 96 through to probably about 2000 there's a big
Really?
buzz around it.
Didn't
And
know that.
I was playing as an attacking midfielder, and because I didn't really defend, and because I didn't want the pressure of scoring goals. So,
Yeah.
and the person who I'd sort of grown up watching prior,
Mm.
or the formative years, was David Platt.
Mm.
I remember the first live game I ever saw. I remember seeing was Villa humping Everton 6-2,
Mm.
and I think it must have been 89-90 season.
Mm.
They ended up finishing second to Liverpool, and then he got the big move to Italy, to Bari, and it was the season that Gazetta football started. And I think that's when my proper interest in football really kicked in.
So it was the kind of what was the name of it? Golasio on Channel 4?
Galazia, yeah.
And that was
Gazetta football on a Saturday morning when they do the roundup show,
yeah.
and then Galazia on the Sunday.
Seen some great goals coming through here.
Yeah, the volley he scored. I think one of the standout things that I remember as well is the volley he scored for England against Belgium after just coming on as a sub in the
Right.
'90 World Cup.
I mean, he's a name that
And
doesn't
he
get mentioned a
went
lot
on.
now, but I mean, back then he was one hell of a player, wasn't
He scored goals as well, a lot of
Yeah.
goals from all over the place.
he? Yeah.
And I think part of his problem was he came back and he went to Arsenal, and he kind of played as almost a holding midfielder for Arsenal because
Yeah.
the legs had gone a little bit.
Yeah.
He'd just sit and just try and sort of pick the ball up and keep it simple, keep dictating play, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that it didn't suit him; he could do it, but it took a lot of what you remember him being a great player for.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's say he's.
So he was definitely one of my standout people that I remember being great and scoring goals. And I mean, you watch the goals he scores, and they're very similar to a lot of goals that Frank Lampard and people like that scored.
I was going to say, yeah, he's got picks it up in the sort of similar kind of positions, and You know, running on to that late run into
He,
the box and the cool
yeah,
finishes and
yeah,
smashing a few penalties as well. So, but I mean, he's a name that doesn't really crop up too much anymore. I don't find. No one sort of really tends to talk about David Platt. But I mean, at that time in the early '90s, I mean, he was a phenomenal English player. And sort
yeah,
of, as you say, one of those standout players. You see him there. He's playing at Juventus. One of the biggest teams
yeah.
in
Well, I
Europe.
mean, I think when we talk about we were talking, and Alan Shearer was our greatest goal scorer in
Yeah.
the Premier League era,
Mm.
and he's got a record of I think 60 games and 30 goals for England. Platt's got 61 and 22, and he played
Yeah.
centre midfield.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal the amount of goals that the guy scored.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was lucky. He played against San Marino and bagged 5 in a game and things like that, which it helps. It boosts up your tally.
Yeah.
But at the same time, other people have played in those games and not got the goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
True. Exactly. Rixie's popped up saying Kaka made him fall in love with the central attacking midfield position. I mean, he was a terrific player.
he was a
Terrific
player.
Just
He was a
glided
player.
across the pitch, and I don't know. He made it look very effortless. And I never warmed to Kaka terribly because I was a big Juve fan around about that time. So I never used to like the guy, but I can look back and see what a genius he was. I mean, he tore Manchester United apart on a couple of occasions. So
I was going to say,
so
there was one
paid,
game where he just stood out, didn't he?
Old Trafford, wasn't it? He
Yeah.
just ripped them apart one-handed. Rixie, thanks for popping up with that, man. Any of you guys that are in the chat, please let us know who influenced you as footballers. Whether it's in the position that you currently play, or when you was a kid. When you was growing up, if you aspired to be like a certain player.
Yeah. Who did you run around the playground shouting his name every time you scored?
Yeah. I'm so and so. I'm being so and so in this game.
Yeah.
That's what you did,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah.
Was that something
Definitely.
that when you sort of went into late teens, 20s, did you try and emulate any players? Was there a particular player that you walked onto the pitch trying to be like?
I spent part of that time cropped. So
Okay. Well,
someone who wasn't injured, someone who wasn't
you
injured
aspired to be
was who
Darren
I
Anderton.
emulated. I wanted a proper treatment table. I think when I had the first injury, that kept me out for a little while. I think when I came back, I knew a chunk of the pace wasn't there. I was still quick, but I wasn't outstrip. I wasn't going to outstrip anyone.
Okay.
And I thought of that, and at that point in time, I had to kind of change how I played
Yeah.
drastically. And I was, as I said, I was a tidy player, but I never needed to do anything with it because I was quick. All I needed to do was kick the ball in front of me and chase after it.
Yeah. Did you have like a Turner
So-
pace, or was it kind of like you could strip people, or?
It was acceleration wise, I was running. So give you an example, I was running 100 meters in about 12 and a half seconds,
Quick then.
but I was running 200 meters in just over 23. So once I got going, I was very quick.
Okay.
But it took me 20, 30 meters to get going. So
I see. Okay.
Which is part. So I would strip people if we were defending a corner, and I was back just inside our half or on the edge of the box. I'd get the ball, I'd knock it, and I'd be gone. It wasn't like a corner. It wasn't a turning you off and you're 100 miles an hour straight away.
I get you. I get you.
So, but it was a complete adaptation of the game because all of a sudden I didn't have that. And it took a few games to realise when you're knocking it past the guy who's twice your age and he's getting to the ball first, and it's not because he's muscled you out or anything, it's because you just can't run past him.
Yeah.
And that's when, and I think that's when the first sort of proper love came in for Latisse.
Yeah, the Le God. What a man.
Le God.
What
Yes.
a man. Around about that time, was you sort of being, you was a more advanced player then, I presume? You was in that attacking midfield role?
Yeah, I was definitely, and I think that was kind of when people stopped playing 4-3-3, and a lot of teams were going to 4-4-2.
Now, boys in the chat, come on, play nice.
Was
Grant,
this-
you're not being biased, mate. You're an Arsenal fan. Respect that.
what's he said? Not being biased. Freddie Lundberg.
Yeah.
Freddie Lundberg was fantastic.
I mean, at that time he was
Yeah.
unplayable.
Um,
Unplayable.
he was absolute quality. But yeah, there was yeah. So teams had started to go to a 4-4-2,
Yeah.
and I'd either play wide left, um, or up front. Very rarely, I'd play centre midfield. So one of my best mates was a defensive midfielder. So I play centre midfield with him because I knew he'd sit there and I could bomb on.
Yeah.
But if I was with someone else, not a chance. Far too much defensive.
Oh,
Far
yeah.
too many
I suppose, yeah,
defensive.
have to sit there and do that job. It's no fun.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that, as I've become to learn.
Yeah, yeah. And our left back was very defensive. I think he was a centre back who was left footed, so he didn't ever push forward. So I didn't have to worry about an overlapping fullback that I'd have to cover for.
Yeah.
So if I played out wide left, I had free reign to do what I want.
Yeah, you could just jog back and yeah, not
well,
the gut.
barely jog back. Yeah, barely jog back, mate.
Fair play.
Give him a cursory glance, and
Very
that would
jealous,
probably
mate.
be about it.
Very jealous. I mean, what I would have done to play with a solid left back like that, Christ Almighty. Yeah, I think
I didn't need to go back because if I went back, he didn't have an out ball.
true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean that it does.
That was always my shout.
It makes all the difference, the players you play with. It molds you as a player, I think.
Yeah.
So talking about that, as you say, I mean, I remember playing left midfield of kind of we're playing like a 4-2-3-1 and playing as that kind of left-sided forward, and I probably spent more time tracking back for our left back than I did. Well, I mean, I was sort of equal. I was like a yo-yo. That's all I'd done. I'd come back and cover him because he was really slow. This is for the team that we nearly weren't unbeaten in the league. Yeah, I mean, I spent all my time just yo-yoing. I mean, I had a really good start to that season, and I think I was second top goal scorer going into Christmas, but I just burnt out. I think it's tough. It's hard when you play that kind of position, and as you say, if you're playing in a position that involves a partnership and you're with a player who maybe is weak in that position, then it does affect your game. So I think that's certainly what happened there. But at the same time, it taught me so much. Now that I've sort of moved into a more central role in midfield, because I just haven't got the that burst of pace. I mean, because that's all I ever had, really. Growing up as a footballer, I mean, at school and leaving school, I was about 7 stone, wringing wet. So I was tiny. I was absolutely tiny. I was thin as a stick, and I used to get the living shit kicked out of me on a football pitch. The living shit. And I remember round about sort of 17, I started going playing with adults, and they used to just boot me up in the air, basically. That's all they done. And because you're a small lad, it's a bit of fun to them. And because I was quite skillful and, as you're saying, quick, it's what you're taught. It's how you deal with players like that. You give them a kick and they're not interested. But I was too thick. I just kept coming back for more and just kept getting kicked. So, then when obviously you had the broken leg, then that was it. That put the kibosh on any pace that I had, and now I've I don't know. Yeah. Playing a weird position now where I don't know. I don't even know where my best position is on the football pitch, to be honest. So.
No, I mean, I know that. I mean, I started playing men's football when I was 15. I had the opportunity to go and play in the youth league in Reading, but I knew so many people who were 17, 18 who had started playing men's football, because the youth league you had 2 unbelievably good teams, and then the rest were just makeshift, because you didn't have that group of youngsters anymore, because they'd all gone off to play men's football. Yeah. So I went and played in men's stuff, and you didn't really have the rules around you got to be over 16 and things like that at that point in time. So it was kind of hard knocks for a little while, but you kind of get used to it. But I know when I moved up here, I played 2 and a bit seasons back in Reading before moving up here, and then properly. So I'd missed about a year, just over a year and a bit, year and a half. And when I came up here, I didn't play properly. I went for kick-arounds with people at work, and then I played in maybe 5 or 6 tournaments at Power League. Yeah. But but that was about it. And obviously, if there was, you're playing in situations where the opportunity to sprint becomes limited,
Mm.
so you're
Yeah.
not doing it on a regular
No, you're not.
basis,
Yeah.
and it kind of, and
Hamstrings
yeah,
aren't
and
ready.
it kind of no, and it just kind of that was it. It was when I did start playing again. I think I was maybe 24
Mm.
properly, 20, yeah, 23, 24. And that's when the proper realization that the pace had gone was very apparent.
Yeah. Like I say, it was pretty apparent for me when I started kicking the ball again. Jeez. Um,
Yeah,
Grant,
yeah,
Grant, bless you. I mean, to be fair, Grant, when we had that season when I was playing left midfield, before moving to the centre with about a quarter of the season to go, with Grant at left back, I mean, it's probably one of the best partnerships I've had on a football pitch.
yeah,
Because I mean, at that time I was, like you say, I didn't have the pace. I've maybe had the brain a bit more, and I used to sort of cut inside. Grant was always overlapping, and we tried to cover you, mate. And to be fair, I think the only thing at that time, Grant, and you'll be the first one to admit it, is you could sometimes lose your head a bit. Whereas in having someone a bit older ahead of you, I tried to do my best to talk you through a game, and as you're learning. I think that season, once you got your head down, you was fantastic, and you've been fantastic ever since. Rixie makes a very good point. Yeah, when you're out on the wing, it is frustrating, and I certainly found that in my early 20s, when I was just starting to play 11-a-side football, it was the most frustrating thing I could think of, because you didn't see the ball for half an hour, and then someone will slot you in with a pass, and your touch is not there. You're not ready. You've built up so much sort of like anxiety almost in your head of when the ball's coming, I've got to do something with it, I've got to make something happen, I've got to put my stamp on this game, and the first thing you do usually is trip over yourself and make a tit of yourself. You kind of got to keep a clear head when you play out on the wing. But my dad always encouraged me to play out on the wing when I was growing up. He always said to me, he goes, you don't want to be a goalkeeper because you get blamed when the ball goes in the back of the net. Same if you're a defender. You'll get blamed if the ball goes in the back of the net. If you're a striker, you get blamed if the ball's not going in the back of the net. And he goes, and if you're in centre midfield, you get blamed for both. So he goes, play out on the wing. He goes, you get left alone. That's what my dad always told me.
I like it.
Yeah. So shadow play. Thank you for the follow. Thanks, bro. And Grant, honestly, mate, that's no word of a lie, buddy. It was a pleasure. It was good fun. So it's a shame it's not going to happen again. For now. Get yourself back playing, mate. Do the right things. Get back on a pitch. So is there been a particular time where you've watched a player do something on a football pitch and you said, I want to do that, I want to make that part of my game? Whether it's watching a player maybe do like a step over or a trick, or whether it's watching a player's ability to pass a ball, their positioning, anything. Is there one particular thing you've seen a player do where you've gone, that's it, I want to do that?
I mean, I could throw this to you and say, can you take a random stab in the dark who I may suggest?
Titus Bramble?
Yes, exactly. I wanted to learn how to defend like Titus. I wanted to learn how to defend like Titus Bramble, so I would never have to play in defence.
I like it. Do I would have never guessed that.
No,
I'm quite proud of myself.
Now, Lettice, volleying the ball.
Yeah,
it's I hear people. I get frustrated when I hear people say, "Oh, I'm not very good at volleying the ball," or "Oh, I can't. I'm rubbish with my right foot. Or I'm rubbish with my left foot." If you've been playing a long period of time, why can you not kick the ball with your other foot? Surely situations must have come up at points in time where you've needed to do it.
Mm.
And if you've readjusted yourself every time to try and put it back onto your good foot, then you're never going to improve on the other one.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I am two-footed in any shape or form.
Unless you're making
I will always take preference on my right foot. Oh, yeah, but that's my Titus Bramble again.
That was a good call.
I would never shy away. If a ball comes to me on my left foot, I will take a touch and I'll play a pass.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll hit a shot. I've scored plenty of footed goals. I think, and it frustrates me, I think, because I then get more frustrated when I think there's people in the Premier League being paid shed loads of money who can't kick with the other foot.
Yeah, Iron Robin always got me. I never understood how he didn't have a right foot.
And if you are ridiculously quick, you can kind of get away with it because you've burnt so quickly past people. You have the time to cut back,
Mm.
but you shouldn't need to, because
No.
if you are cutting back, you've still potentially wasted that opportunity.
Yeah. No, I think it's important to have some form of ability with both feet. I used to practice all
Yeah,
the time, left foot, right foot. I used to have back in the day when I didn't drink and I was training 5 days a week or 5 times a week, sorry, and running twice a week, and then I'd go out in the garden and I'd just go left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot against the wall. I then start playing left foot to left foot, control with the left foot, shift onto the right, right foot to right foot, shift over to the left, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then I'd start doing it with a tennis ball. And then I'd start
yeah,
practicing volleys with a tennis ball, left foot volleys with a tennis ball. And I'll never forget, I'd
yeah.
been doing it for a couple of weeks. I played in a friendly, I was wearing that shirt, I can remember it,
Hmm.
and a ball come over my right shoulder, and it just sat up, and I hit it left foot volley and smashed it in the bottom corner. And it was like, light bulb moment. It's like, fuck,
Yeah.
if you practice something, when it comes to it, you act on
Comes an
instinct.
instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I've scored a similar where it's gone up into the opposite top corner as if someone scooped a ball over the top as I've run through. But
Yeah.
if I'd had time to think about it, I would have pulled it down and tried to roll it in with my right foot.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time to think about it, and I didn't then shy away from trying to do it with my left. And I think it is a big thing. It is a big thing, but
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't get people who can't. I used to do this thing. It was called. Well, it was called Round the World. Obviously, now people do called Around the World as the flicking the ball up and then
Oh,
leg
Christ,
over
yeah,
the
I know.
ball and then
People
keeping
just,
it going.
yeah. It's
Right, right.
an
So
hour's
the
learning.
Round the World that we used to do was you flick the ball up, one touch on your right foot,
Mm.
on your right knee, your right shoulder, your head, your left shoulder, left knee, left foot,
Oh, okay.
and then
Yeah, I know, yeah.
then back up and around again straight
Okay.
away. Right.
Can't do it.
The amount of people you see you see that they can't get it to their head, or once it's off their head, the whole of their left side of their body's all wrong.
Yeah.
They can't even do the shoulder. It's some random flailing of an arm.
It's like me dancing,
It's
mate.
ridiculous. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so you do that, but you do it enough, and then you get used to it, and it becomes you're happy to kick the ball with your left foot, and also you're controlling the ball because you're having to get the right sort of weight on it to get it back up and around again, as opposed to the ball dropping off your left knee and panicking and just smashing it away.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, but that comes with time, I think, and like you say, it comes with practice. So I think
Yeah.
if there's anyone where you kind of, if you're in your 20s and you're serious about you want to be a better footballer, you've got to work on your
Yeah.
weaknesses and and not forget your strengths as well. It's a combination
The
of
people-
both things.
The people who I think should always make or attempt to get themselves as two-footed as possible, bizarrely, is centre backs.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I think that's hugely overlooked.
Because they are the people. Yeah, because they're the people who don't necessarily get time on the ball to get rid of it, and will panic and try and cut back onto their good foot and
Yeah.
lose the ball. We've seen it so many times on Sundays where you try and cut back and you tread on the ball.
Yeah, or you just slash
it's
your
an
clearance.
overtouch.
Yeah.
Or it's an you've overtouched it and you've lost it that way, and it's so frustrating because the ball sat there with your left foot. Just put your foot through it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If it's 20 metres up the pitch with one of their players, it's still 20 metres away from your goal, further away from your goal.
Yeah, you're just
I
a play
appreciate
percentage
trying
game.
to play football. Yeah, I appreciate trying to play football, but knowing when to is a big thing. Having a brain and knowing when to do it is key.
What's the one piece of advice that you've received as a footballer that helped your game? Once again, all these questions, they go out to people in the chat as well. I'm not just firing these at Neil. I want to. It'd be nice to see what other people have come up with. So I am reading the chat as well. So there's some great
I just saw
little shouts
Rixie's
going
one
on
about Ronald. Yeah, I saw the Rixie's one about the Ronaldinho, which are quite like cousin coming out, seeing me do a skill and saying, "You didn't do that. You didn't make that skill. Ronaldinho did."
And Grant, do you see Grant? Have you always seen yourself as a left back, or do you still see yourself as a left back, or do you think that's where you're gonna, or can you improve and move into other areas on the pitch? Is the question I put to you. But yeah, what's the one piece of advice that you've received as a footballer that that you found most beneficial?
Um,
Don't wear a pink t-shirt.
no, wear a pink t-shirt, mate. Pink t-shirts rock.
Pretty in pink.
Won the league. Won the
Pink is
league in
punk.
pink kit, mate.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
Won the league in pink kit. Yeah. Front up, man. Front up. Um,
I disagree
Yeah,
with that,
see-
Rick. So I got fucking poleaxed. And I
I
didn't
was get.
back out.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's a great shout.
I joke, mate. I
Jesus,
joke.
I've been hurt by trying to. I've broken myself a couple of times trying to go in hard.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if I hadn't tried to jump, then my leg would have folded in on itself, and I'd have had to have it cut off. There's no two ways about it. So
Yeah,
I'm glad I pussied out that one.
I think knowing when to.
Broke my collarbone going in 100%.
Yeah, truly.
Good lad.
Yeah,
And you took it like a man as well.
yeah. Did the other person pussy out? Because I mean, if the other person pussied out and you went in 100%, then that's a shout for non-contact football, isn't it?
Yeah. Oops.
Especially with Corona.
Okay, so you've had no
Non-contact
advice which helps
football.
your game? None whatsoever?
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, bits and pieces. I suppose people will tell you something and you take it with a pinch of salt. You work with it how you see fit.
Yeah.
I think being told not to pressure myself, or take it to heart if you have a bit of a mare,
Yeah.
was always quite good. Because, and this goes back to the conversation we had the other day when we were saying about people who have a bad game. If they miss, how long do you keep playing them for?
Yeah.
If they go into training, are they then banging in the goals in training, which gets them picked again the week after, and then they have a mare?
Yeah.
Or are they just completely missing everything and it's all gone? So being told not to put that much pressure on myself and actually not enjoy it, because I've said to people before, I think some people have sort of played for us and said, I just want to play to enjoy it. And that's fine, but you enjoy it a lot more when you win.
Yeah.
And if anyone
100%.
goes home
Yeah, 100%.
happy that they've been happy that they've been beat because they've had a nice run out, I that's the competitive edge in me. And I'm not playing; I'm on the side.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, but as a
you know.
manager, I think it's more important that you have that mentality than it does as a player.
or I don't know, because that's where that work ethic comes in. That's where that
Yeah,
sort of,
granted.
that little bit
Yeah, I'll
extra
give you that.
dig. Yeah, it's like we'll use a prime example. He's not on here, but he wouldn't mind us talking about it. And Jeff is a prime example.
Yeah.
Jeff looks like he's blowing after 30 minutes, and he's still going at the same pace, at the same intensity at 90 minutes.
Yeah, you still got
And
that same
that's that
touch in the 90th
will,
minute.
and it's that will and desire to get a result.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah,
yeah.
and it's a
that
big
work
thing.
ethic.
So, Grant,
Okay.
I like that.
I mean, to be fair, yeah. If you had Inzaghi on the back of your shirt, then don't know, you might have been done as a lookalike, pal.
Yeah, born offside.
Yeah, yeah.
What about
bless
you?
him. Me?
So your inspirations, Who inspired you?
I mean, I suppose like growing up, I mean, so many players that you look to emulate, and I think I never, I mean, I still to this day don't really know my best position on a football pitch, and I don't think I've ever known really, because maybe I've just drawn influences from so many different players. Obviously, growing up as a Manchester United fan, you're watching the likes of, I mean, I loved David Beckham as a kid, and Ryan Giggs. I mean, Giggsy was probably the one that, as kind of years went on, that was always there, and I just loved how he run with the ball, and once again, he could kind of do a bit of everything. He could put a tackle in as well, like we saw in a couple of his goals. I think was there one against Liverpool where he won the ball and then he lobbed the goalkeeper. Was that Liverpool?
Yeah.
So it just kind of showed a bit of tenacity from a wide player. But to be honest, I didn't really play football until I was in my late teens.
Okay.
As a kid, I didn't play. I only ever played in the garden with my dad. And then under 14s, I started 3 games in 2 seasons, and two
Right.
of those were the last 2 games of the second season.
Right. Okay.
I scored 3 goals in that time, all of which in every single started game. But I was always brought on as a sub in the last 5 minutes, every game,
Right.
every single game, and I still stuck it for 2 years.
It's
Purely
impressive
because,
in
like I
itself.
said, pardon?
That's impressive in itself.
Yeah,
Just sticking it out for that length of time.
when you love something, you see it through to the bitter end. And the worst thing was we used to train on a Thursday night, and I was always one of the best players in training. Because I was everywhere.
Yeah.
I was always. I can't remember who. I think someone was talking about Beckham, and I must have heard it when I was a kid, and said, he was always the first one at training, the last one to leave. So that sunk in, and that was my mentality. Was like, I'll always be the first one there and the last one to leave, and I always give 100%, and I wanna improve. I remember one training session on a Thursday night, and I was, as you say, like left foot, right foot, I was scoring goals, playing sort of like a right midfield in this training match, and I was thinking, yeah, surely like this weekend he has to pick me, he has to play me, and he didn't. I was like, fuck. And I got brought on as a sub with about half an hour to go, and the manager's ripping into me after 5 minutes, and I just lost my shit. And it's the first time I've ever lost my shit on a football pitch, was then, and I turned around to him and told him to fuck off, and I said, look, all you've done for the last season and a half is rip into me. I'm giving everything I can. I'm doing what you're asking me to do, and I never get played. And he subbed me back off. I didn't go back on in that game, so it was like, oh shit. So, but yeah, I suppose that gave me a bit of mental toughness. And then as I went like later on, around about that age, 15, 16, I started playing with adults. And like I said, I used to get the living shit kicked out of me, and it taught me a lot. It made me bulk up a bit, and then I started kicking people back, and you say, and you kind of built that mental toughness. So, and it kind of got to the point where in my 20s, when I was playing with those in those sort of 5-a-side games, I was borderline arrogant, because I knew I could do a bit of everything. 5-a-side was my game. I could defend, I could attack, I could score goals, I could create goals. I've always been proud of my passing. I think there's sort of in my 20s, in the teams I played in, I don't think there's too many players that can see a pass the way I see a pass. And like you say, that's just sort of confidence, and I'm proud to say I think I've proved it time and time again. It's not just smoke and mirrors. When it comes to players, I mean, Wayne Rooney was a huge influence, because I loved his tenacity. I loved his energy. He could score goals, he could create goals, he could play anywhere across the front three, he could play in midfield. Just, and obviously, along with Ronaldo, and then later on Tevez, it was just, you'd pay your Sky Sports subscription alone just to watch them three play together for 4 or 5 games a season. And that's kind of where I really peaked with football.
Yeah. At that point in time, if you had a Sky subscription, you were watching Man United a hell of a lot more than 5 times a season.
Yeah,
every other week.
Exactly, I know. But obviously now you don't.
No.
But as you say, around about. But in those 2000s as well, I was watching a lot of Italian football, and I used to.
Yes.
I was always a Juventus fan. They were kind of my second team, and hence why. With the black and white shirt, which we played with for the not so athletic team that I started, the 5-a-side team. And I mean, sort of one person in particular that I always just really loved playing, and watching play, was Alessandro Del Piero, because once again he kind of done a bit of everything. Could create goals, score goals. I think his free kick taking was one of the most underrated in Europe. Just some of his free kick goals are incredible, just incredible. And he's one of those innovators. I mean, you see sort of like the drag through little skills there and stuff, like you just didn't see anyone else doing it. He's just, I don't know, he was one of those players, he kind of played off the cuff, a bit like, we talk about Letitia, you're seeing these little heel flicks and things like this. I hope it shows his goal against Real Madrid, hopefully. But you see, like, the passing and the vision and everything. But I mean, let's say, going back to his goal against Real Madrid,
awareness of where others are, isn't it?
Yeah, the goal against Real Madrid is not what you'd ever teach anyone to do. He's through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he decides to have a pop from near on 30 odd yards or wherever it is. Yeah. And you'd be screaming, take a few more touches, get close to the keeper and then roll it past him. Yes, it's just what you teach. But he didn't. He acted on instinct, and I mean that's what all great strikers and forwards do. But yeah, I just love the way he played football. I mean, he always made me want to pick the ball up and and get in the park and run it around with mates and.
Yeah.
So, and because I was one of the few that really enjoyed Italian football, no one else really did.
What?
Yeah, at that time. It was only me and my best mate Matt. He was an AC Milan fan and I was a Juve fan. So, so yeah, he was always bragging about Kaka and I was always bragging about Alex. So, but yeah,
I must say, I got a little bit excited there. I saw the old Sony mini disc Juve shirt with the arched back.
Yeah,
I've got one of those knocking around somewhere.
Yeah,
from 1996. There is not a chance that fits me anymore. It would be more like Under Armour. But
I used to have one of the fast web ones. I don't know if you remember the Champions League where they got to the final against Milan. I used to have one of those. I always wanted to get David's on the back because I thought he was cool. But yeah,
that's the one I've got with the webbing down the sides.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've got one of them. There may have been a different one after because you would have been probably about 6 when I got mine. So
yeah, not quite then. Not quite.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Del Piero was always a huge influence on my play. As I say, and then later on, once I had the injury, I had to kind of look around and change my game. And I used to watch a lot of Juve again at the time, and I was watching Pogba, Vidal, and Pirlo playing together. And for me, it was the most formidable 3 that you could find in Europe at that time. I loved Pirlo's, as you say, his the way he approached the game. The ability to pass. I don't know. It was so sort of laid back and nonchalant. The way he played. It was.
Yeah. That's a good word. I like nonchalant for Pirlo.
Yeah.
I was going to say he was always someone. Whenever you saw him play, he was overconfident, but he never got into arrogance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was a nonchalance about the way he done it, which you'd normally portray as someone else. You'd look at others and you'd go arrogant. But he never kind of done it because of the way he carried himself as well.
Yeah. You never kind of see him. I don't know, gobbing off or.
No.
Certainly not in his later years, but. He was just, I mean, as I say, and alongside, I mean, Vidal was just, I mean, and he still is. I mean, he's not. I don't know how he doesn't get in that Barca side, but he's just an animal, just box to box, putting in tackles, passes, winning headers, just kind of done everything. And then you had Pogba there, who, I mean, he's still doing what he's doing at Manchester United. He can pick a pass, he can put a tackle in, but he was allowed to play his game. The clever little turns and. Picking these little threaded balls and stuff, and scoring goals too. And you had like Claudio Marchisio coming in, and
Marchisio I liked. He was a good player.
Once again, never really got the credit he deserved at Juve.
No.
But so I mean, you just had all these midfield players there, so I just started picking tips up from them, and I used to watch them on repeat all the time, and then I'd go along to my five-a-side games and just look at picking passes, doing what they do. Just trying to be everywhere, At that time, I was trying to build my leg strength up so I could not be in agony for 3 days after playing. So I sort of quickly moulded myself into trying to be a bit of everything, and and that's I suppose where I am today. So
cool.
If you could give advice to a younger player, 30 to 18, what would it be? What would it be? Just give it everything. Give everything. Don't know. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you do. Do the right things, and just don't get into bad habits. Don't do what all your mates are doing and go down the pub and whatnot when you're 18. Just enjoy your football. My dad, and I mean, you all say the same thing, Neil. My dad always said to me, you've got the rest of your life after, when you're 35 and onwards to have fun and chase girls and go down the pub and go on late nights out. He goes, trust me, when you get to that age and you can't play football again. You would do absolutely anything. You'd sell your left arm to get back on a football pitch, and to play like you did when you was a teenager. And it's true. It's absolutely true. I mean, now at the age of 30, I would do absolutely anything to rewind 10 years and go back to being 20 and being able to play football again, the way I used to play it.
Yeah. I mean, anytime I not necessarily step on a pitch, but anytime I sort of training game or anything like that, I forget how old I am.
Yeah.
And it all comes back, and in a very small 2 meter radius, I still look good. As soon as I have to move out of that 2 meter radius, it becomes a little bit a little bit loose.
Exactly. Those lung busting runs are just not there anymore.
Yeah. That little burst is the only thing that's going to burst is a lung.
I don't know, or a button on your shirt.
Yeah. I see.
That wasn't the person. Hey, that applied to me too. That applied to me too. Okay, I was talking about myself included. Quickly recover.
But advice-wise, moving on. 13 to 18, I would tell someone to make sure they enjoy it as much as they can. If you enjoy something, you will practice something. To improve at football, you don't need other people around you for a period of time. We were saying, you can improve your left foot on your own, knocking a ball against the wall and controlling it when it comes back, throwing it in the air and pulling it down. All of these sorts of things. If you enjoy football, you go out and do that sort of thing.
You do.
I remember doing keepy-uppies and practicing keepy-uppies, and you used to rock up to sort of stupid figures and get bored. I'd get bored before I dropped the ball. And I mean, I don't have a massive attention span for certain things like that anyway, but
likewise,
those sorts of things improve your touch. They improve your touch. They improve all of those sorts of things. Even now, if we're outside with Izzy and we're playing football in the garden, when we finish, the first thing I'm doing is trying to clip the ball through her Wendy house window and leave the ball in there. It's, I'm not messing around. Or it's like, I can still do that. It's a clip pass from 20 metres away.
Still do it.
No, our garden ain't that big. 10 metres away.
5 metres.
But it is. I could just pick the ball up and go and put it in the Wendy house or in the shed. I don't, because there's a challenge there. And it's like, I can still do this. And she'll be like, she's impressed by it. And that makes me feel even better.
It's that little ego thing.
She doesn't really care. Yeah, she doesn't really care, but she's impressed. And, from my point of view, I don't care whether she's my daughter, whether I've borrowed her for the weekend from someone else, whether she lives over the road and she's watching through a window. If they're impressed, I'm happy.
Yeah, it is. It's an ego thing, man. It's an ego thing, and that comes into it. It comes a big way into it.
But it comes from enjoying it.
Yeah, 100%.
Taking your time to actually spend your time doing that and enjoying it. And, if you then go out onto a pitch with people, it's not about all the tricks and flicks. You see the biggest players, Neymar, Ronaldinho, those sorts of guys doing all those tricks and flicks on a regular basis. It doesn't work on an 11-a-side pitch 90% of the time. Correct. We trained last season with TJ. With the ball at his feet in training, absolutely unreal. No one could get it off him.
No, just
goes into an 11-a-side game, but he knows. But in an 11-a-side game, he knows he won't be able to do that on a consistent basis, so he doesn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's that old the Ronaldo story of Ronaldo was in training at Manchester United, and he was doing all these tricks and sort of showing the lads and all these tricks he's learned and everything. And Paul Scholes doesn't say anything. He just picks up a ball, puts it down, and just pings it and hits it right at the base of a tree, 40 yards away, and just turns to Ronaldo and says, "Try and do that, mate." And he said Ronaldo was there for the rest of the day and he couldn't do it. And it just says all these tricks and flicks and things. Yeah, it's fantastic. It gives you a good feeling, but it's not. I don't care if you can do fucking flip flaps and around the worlds and rainbow flicks and all this lot. I couldn't give a shit. If you can't pass a ball 10 yards, you can't play football, mate.
Yeah.
You can't play football.
But then that shows the desire and the dedication of Ronaldo that he's there for the rest of the day trying to do it.
Yeah, precisely.
Because some people would have hit it 3 or 4 times and gone, fuck it.
Yeah, I could do it in a game. Yeah. No, you're right.
I don't play long ball football.
Yeah. No, you never know. Adi Bothroyd might have got a job at Man United. Who knows? Stranger things would have happened.
Oh, bloody hell. No, they wouldn't. That would have been the strangest, mate.
Anything else in chat? Guys, you got any questions we want to talk about? Any footballers anyone, any questions you have? I'm loving the questions that have come through. Thanks, Grant. Rixie, I
Yeah.
got into bad habits
It's
after
just
I'd finished youth football, got into drugs and sacked football off. Only started playing properly again last year, and having the time out is the biggest regret of my life. Dude, I couldn't say it. I've got so many friends who were fantastic footballers growing up, who were better than me, and ended up into drugs, and now they're just nobody's working a 9 to 5, and I wonder what they do with their lives.
yeah.
It's the greatest feeling. It's the best feeling. It's the best thing. Sitting here, being able to regale and talk about old stories, talk about goals that we've scored, or passes that we've made,
Hmm.
or something that's happened. The nights
Yeah.
out as well. I appreciate the level we play at. That's a big part of it too. I mean, some of the nights out I've had with
It's
football
a social
lads
aspect. Yeah.
is just the best times, and I'm
Yeah.
so thankful that I've had that. And I've still got hopefully a few more years to enjoy it. And I know, I regret maybe not doing a few things in football. Not taking a few opportunities when I had
Yeah.
them, but I'll always be thankful for the people that I met whilst playing football and the friends I've made. I mean, I've made friends like Neil, who I'm sat here talking to now, and you guys in the chat. I mean, I consider you all friends. You guys that were at my wedding, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it meant a hell of a lot to have you guys there. And I've met you all just through playing football. Just through playing football. What more could you ask for? What more could you ask for?
The one thing I would say, and this is kind of not advice to a younger player, but it's advice to Rixies, to people, to yourself as well.
Mm.
Don't have regrets.
No.
Don't regret what you've done. You've done it. It. Looking back on it, it was a bad decision, and it may not have been your best
Yeah,
option at
we
the
all make wrong
time, but it was
decisions.
an option you. Yeah, it was an option you chose.
Mm.
Don't. It's done.
Yeah.
You've picked up. You've moved on.
Yeah.
Make the most. Don't look back and regret what you didn't do. Make the most of what you do now.
Mm. You said doo-doo.
You can't You can't change the past.
Yeah.
Do.
Greasy
You can't change
asks,
what's happened.
what's the highest level either of you have played at? Neil, do you want to answer that one first?
So
Sorry, Grant.
I've officially played it. So I've played uh, equivalent of sort of Deerham Town officially.
And
So
Durham Town, they play in. Is it Southern League?
I don't know, Southern League, yeah. So
I'll
I
quickly Google it.
I played for Reading Town, which are now Reading City, a number of times. I mean, in that situation, I was quite lucky that the manager of our Sunday team was manager of them. He then went on to manage Basingstoke Town, which I think are now Conference South or were Conference South.
Okay.
He was quality, but he had loads of problems, knees and things like that as well. But
So
I would never have got. I don't,
Durham play in the Eastman League.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what level that is on the football ladder. It's down. Levels on the pyramid is 7 or 8. So yeah, so that's just below. The sort of feeder leagues, isn't it? Into the top leagues.
Yeah.
To give you an idea.
But that was a very long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, by the time I moved to Norfolk and started playing up here, I was pretty much broke. I was done, and it was at that point. It was playing for pure enjoyment. And I've said to Sean before, and I've said to other guys, after a year of playing up here, my knee was so shot again that I was taking painkillers to get through games. I was then taking creatine tabs to try and balance out the drowsiness of the painkillers because they were so strong.
Yeah.
And in a game, I ruptured my ankle ligaments, and I played for another 30, 35 minutes after, carried on hobbling around on it because I knew something wasn't right, but it didn't hurt enough because of the amount of painkillers I was taking. And at that point in time, you think, Jesus, this something's not quite right here. And I was out for 3.5, 4 months with that.
Yeah. The highest I got to, I mean, I've never played kind of football league. I had a trial at a Southern League side 3 days before I broke my leg on the Thursday, the yeah, the Wednesday night, I went along to a trial and didn't quite work out. So they offered to take me on, and they said I could come play for them, but I decided not to. And then 3 days later, I broke my leg. So I learnt a harsh lesson in that one. But as you say, no regrets. I don't think. Some of the things they were asking me to do, I basically had to stop playing five-a-side because if I got injured playing five-a-side, then they would effectively terminate the contract. And I just said no. No. So it was too much. You know, you kind of all of a sudden you start having to. Once again, I'd have more regrets if I decided to go do that and then not have my leg broken, because I wouldn't have had to hang out with my mates. I don't think I'd have made as many friends. So I turned down that, and hey, you know, I had a huge learning curve, and I think, you know, I'm kind of, I look back on it now and I'm thankful for what happened to me with the injury. It's made me, you know, learn so much as a human being, and although it's caused me lots of you know, mental health issues. You know, I'm proud that I've been able to you know to kind of work on those and get through those times and get back playing football. You know, I think when the surgeon said, you know, I shouldn't be playing football within a 12-month span, he said, you know, it'll be 12 months before you kick a ball again. Then straight away it was like, okay, after 9 months, if I'm not back playing, then I'm gonna be pissed with myself. So that was kind of the red rag to the bull.
So my surgeon said, I asked him how long before I could play again, and he said, well, I wouldn't recommend you play again.
Really?
And I was like, well, that's not going to happen. So how long?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, sorry. You what, mate?
Yeah. He said, yeah, and then he moved on from there, and he said, well, he said the knee should have healed enough for you to do some light physical exercise in 3 months. And he said, but he said I wouldn't advise you play properly or competitively again. And I think that was in the January. I think in the May I went and had a five-a-side kick around with brother and a couple of other people. Bumped into a couple of people that he knew, so we had a game, and one of those guys there was useless and kicked me straight across the knee. And it was just after I then took over running the Sunday team,
right?
And didn't do anything in pre-season. 3 games into the season, we only had 12 players. I ended up having to play 60 minutes. It was the first time I've run properly since. That was a bad one.
Yeah, stuff that. I remember my first game back after
that was.
Go on.
I was going to say that was the last time I took painkillers for a game.
Really?
Yeah.
Until you saw that lovely carpeted turf when we played out.
Mate, I didn't take painkillers that day.
No, I mean, but that just shows, doesn't it? That just shows when you love football so much, you knew you couldn't perform. You know, I mean, to that level. No disrespect, you know, and that it was going to cause you pain for days afterwards. But you looked at it and you just had to. I don't care. I don't care if I can't walk properly for the next week. I'm going to be in agony every day. I don't care. I want to just play football. You know.
Yeah. What the Watton game? You mean?
Yeah. On that lovely
last
turf.
Game of the season. Last game of the season. I've not even signed a form all year, and I rocked up, and I was like, well, we haven't got 16. I'm filling in a form.
Yeah, fucking right. Rixie asking me a very personal question. Would I read the whole thing out? If you could either play for a lower league side like Cambridge United or Man City, who would you choose? Well, I don't know.
You'd probably get a game at Cambridge.
Steady on, I'll get a game at Man City, mate. That Sterling ain't nothing, mate. Fucking Leroy Sané, I'll kick his ass in a sprint race, mate.
Fabio's not on. You could have a Bernardo Silva's place.
Yeah. And to be fair, I'll probably be better than Claudio Bravo in goals, so I reckon I'll get a game or two, mate. The old League Cup. Show him how it's done. Go on, Claudio, catch this one, son. I don't know.
I couldn't catch Corona.
I hope he tried. I would. I suppose like that kind of goes to the question of would you rather be a big fish in a small pond or a normal sized fish in a large pond. I've always I don't know. I've always played my best when I've been a big fish in a small pond. I'm not gonna lie, which is kind of what happens. But I mean, you know, 'cause you can kind of look at the teams I've played for. Neil, don't give me that look.
Are you saying if
Yeah.
you went to Cambridge, you'd be the big fish?
Yeah, I would, mate. Fucking big fish, 5'7", mate. I'll be winning everything in the air,
The
leaping like
big
a salmon.
fry.
Prick. Stop pissing on my answer, Neil.
Sorry, carry on.
No, I don't want to. Fine, be like that.
Oh, Sean's header all over again.
Oh no, yeah, did I tell you about that? I scored this header, and it all started when I was in the change room before the game. Fucking bastard.
Anyway, yeah, big fish, little pond.
Yeah, I don't know. Cambridge. I couldn't live with myself if I play for Man City, mate. I'd have to disinfect myself every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'd always. Well, depend. You know, if I was good enough to be at Man City, then I'd go to Man City. If I wasn't, then I wouldn't run the risk.
Grant makes a good shout. I'd be better than Otamendi at Man City. I could play centre back.
You'd
Play
be
out
on a
with the
par
ball,
with
mate.
John Stones.
Yeah.
If you've got
That's
Laporte
harsh.
next year, everyone's a great centre back.
Mate, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll play alongside Laporte. Yeah, I could do that, mate. Happy days. Good
Big
job
fish,
you
little
were
fish,
a
cardboard
poacher
box.
with a welding locker. Who's that? Neil. Yeah, that is Neil. Yeah.
Is that? Or was that? I missed
Great,
that.
Good job you were a poacher. The few owed, were you talking about, Neil?
Oh no, it's just he put big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Like it.
Oh no, I was a bit up here. Good job you were a poacher with a weldie in his locker. Okay. I think that's what you're talking
Yes.
about. Yeah, thought you were. Yeah.
Good job you were poacher.
Neil knows a weldie.
I kind of. Yeah. To be fair, that just came from the fact that my legs were gone, and I had enough in them to kick the ball from 30 yards.
That old Latisse
not
thing,
run
isn't it?
30 yards.
Big
Yeah,
fish,
exactly.
fish cardboard box.
That's where it got to in the end.
To be fair, that kind of sums up my footballing career. Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. I started off playing pretty good, and then ended up in a team where I was quite obviously not good enough for the players around me, and I could soon be living out the cardboard box. So, great shout, Dan. Thanks, mate. I'm gonna get that on a t-shirt.
I'm part of me. Part of me's living in the hope that now Dan played in the game when we played out at the Otter, and that's where the weldy was.
Really?
Outside of the right boot, top corner. No, it wasn't. Yeah. Whatever.
Hey man, you were shooting me down with my header. That was a great header.
Mate, yeah. To be fair, as I said, I don't
there.
score tap-ins because that's far too far to run.
Fair enough.
That's
Pick
a
it up,
lot
whack
of
it.
distance to make up, mate.
I know. I'm learning that now. That's what I've got to do. I'll be in the park just kicking the ball as hard as I can.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. Don't worry about accuracy. The goals are actually quite big.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bigger than they look, they are.
All these people who can drop onto a sixpence, you can't put it in the top corner, can you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions, or should we get on with the draw? Should we start drawing these goals?
Let's get on with a draw.
Let's get this
Start
draw
drawing
underway.
some of these goals.
Let's do it.
Oh,
Neil,
give me
are
2
you
secs. I'm going to top up.
Are you going to get a
2
notebook
secs.
as well? Rixie, another awesome question. Do you both have a stick-out goal that you remember vividly that you could both describe? Mine would be playing my last game for Heatherset and the ball dropped to me on a half volley outside the box to seal 3+ and scoring the last goal for my childhood team. Dude, I could think... I've scored... I mean, I've never scored a decent goal since I've been in Norfolk, let's be honest. Not for Rose, Eton or Hornets. But I scored, and I'll never forget it. And I don't know if this has happened to anyone else, but I was playing left wing in a cup game for Pioneer Reserves, and about 2 minutes before, it's hard to explain. I had it's gonna sound bizarre. I had like an epiphany. I saw exactly what was going to happen about 2 minutes before it happened, and that the centre midfielder was going to play it to me out on the out wide. I'd take a touch in field and then just hit it first time, and it was going to curl straight over the goalkeeper, almost like a curling lob into the far corner from about thick end of 35 yards. Um, and it's the most bizarre thing that's ever happened to me on a football pitch. But like I say, 2 minutes before, I remember seeing in my head the pass that was going to come to me, and then 2 minutes later, this ball's coming towards me. This one that I've already seen in my head, and just instinct took over. I took a touch with my instep, moved it into the pitch, and I just hit it first time. I didn't even have to look up. I knew exactly where the keeper was going to be. I just smashed it, yeah. And I can still see it. I can still see the keeper sort of trying to claw it from his head. You know, I tell you what, it was like the Ronaldinho free kick. It was about that sort of area, but on the opposite side of the pitch, and it loped over and went over the goalkeeper, pretty much the same as it did with Seaman. And that's the only way I can describe it. And I remember afterwards, and you know, you don't celebrate few many goals when you're playing Sunday League, but this team, I think they're from Slough or something, and they had a load of guys on the sideline, and all of them just said, mate, they just started clapping. They said, that's a great goal, mate, well played. They've been giving me shit all game because I was running up and down their side of the pitch, but they just said, mate, great goal, well done. I just turned around and said, oh, thanks lads, cheers. Being the bloke that I am. Neil, is there one goal that you remember, one worldie of a goal that you can remember very vividly in your mind from scoring?
I remember every goal. But I've scored, I would say,
Send it, Grant, send it.
better goals. Technically, I've scored better goals, but the one that sticks out in my head most was playing in Reading, and we were playing in the County Cup, and we were playing against a team who were top of the senior division on Sundays. They were good,
yep.
And we got beat 6-2, and I scored both our goals. I scored one from pretty much the halfway line.
Shit.
About 8 seconds into the second half, and then I scored one from about 2 yards. So I couldn't have got further apart with my goal difference. But the reason it stuck out is because the week before we didn't have a game, and we were training on a kids' pitch, and our manager was our goalkeeper, and he was an absolute arsehole. And in our training game, there was about it was about 9 aside, and we took centre, and I chipped him from the centre. It was a smaller pitch, but it was a kid's pitch, and he lost his shit.
Really?
Because I'd embarrassed him.
Yeah.
And I think I was probably 16. I was 16 and he was mid-30s, and he was having a proper rant and a rave.
Shit.
And really, really going at it and having a real pop at me for doing that. You'll never do that in a game. What the fuck?
Really? Fucking hell.
And then the week, yeah. Oh mate, the guy was a dick. So we were sponsored by one of the travel lodges in Reading. Before they were a travel lodge, I think they were Post House Forte or something.
Right.
He then got done for robbing it about 6 months later.
Seriously? Fucking hell. I don't want to hear 24 carat knob then.
Broke in and robbed it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. But then, so the week after, then we took centre, the ball came back to me just inside their half, and it kind of came back to me and bobbled up. So I just turned and took a touch. Keeper was off his line, and as it sort of bobbled up a little bit, lobbed him.
Love it.
And my response, it was very much like, without the running, but very much like the Adebayor all one for Man City against Arsenal. Where I just run the leg. I just turned round to him and just. At 16, mate, it was like proper. I was prone to a bouts of arrogance. I had a couple of shirt throwing incidents,
that time.
And one of them in a stadium in a charity game.
Really? Fuck.
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah, not one of your best moments, Neil. But I can remember.
No, didn't cram. My old man was very embarrassed, sat up in the stands.
I can remember another goal I scored when I was playing. They were all at Pioneer Reserves when I was playing there. We was 1-0 down against FC Eagles. In the 82nd minute, I was playing up front with a guy called Andy Capel, who was he was a bit of a target man, but he had a turn of pace on him and he could bang a goal. 82nd minute, I've won a flicked on header. Yeah, me. I flicked this header on between the pair of centre backs, and he's run onto it and put it in the back of the net. I know I'm not talking about the headed goal, Neil. Stop looking confused.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought we were finally going to hear it.
No. So I flicked on this header to make it 1-1, 82nd minute, and then about 4 or 5 minutes later, another ball's come into the box and it's just looped up in the air, and I'm on the edge of the box and I've done the full-on Di Canio like scissor kick and put it straight in the top right corner. And wow, yeah, I remember that one. That was a cracking goal. And yeah, and one of the guy who used to play centre back for us, his son was watching. Apparently, he spent like the whole that week like practicing the goal in his back garden. I was really proud of that. I thought it was really cool that some little kid was trying to copy my goal. So yeah, but that was yeah.
He went home. He got Higgins put on the back of his shirt.
That's his shirt. Look, I nicked it.
He was there peeling off the back of his the number, and he was getting yours put on.
Yeah, turn up the next week with a full Mohican like I used to have. Yeah, everything. No, I'm joking. He didn't really. No, if he had, I'd have died of embarrassment. But yeah, I was really proud of that goal. That was a great goal. And more importantly, it was a 2-1 win against a team that was kind of the same sort of place as us in the league. So it was an important game, and assisted and scored a goal. Was great. It was yeah. That gave me a really good feeling. Really, really good feeling. Should we crack on with this draw then? Neil, are you?
Let's go on. Let's do the draw.
Yeah, are you?
I'm scribing.
You are scribing. Okay, so we have all 32 goals in here. So once again, for people that have joined in, haven't been here from the start, we have 27 goals that have been voted by the BBC as the goal of the season. 4 of those have come in the FA Cup. We have then taken 3 picks from viewers from Thursday's show, and then there's been 2 picks made by myself and Neil to make 32. So we're going to face off 2 goals against each other. So there's going to be 16 ties, and then in the upcoming shows we're going to pit those goals against each other and let the viewers vote on which one is their favourite. The favourite will then go through to the next round, and then we'll have another draw to pit them off against each other and we'll continue that cycle until we get to a final, and we'll have our ultimate goal. Okay? Does it sound good? Is everyone ready? Are the nerves jangling?
Yep. And we've thrown in the caveat that you can't blame us for the goals, because these are the winners of the BBC goal of the season.
Yep. Yeah.
Admittedly, a lot of them we probably would have picked, but that we also appreciate that there have been worldy goals.
Yeah.
That aren't on this list because they were scored in the same season and things like that. So
yeah, lots of other things. So yeah, please don't hate us if we haven't put your favourite goal in here. We're going on sort of some guidelines that we've had, and we've tried to include other people and also have our little bit in it. But I think we've got a pretty solid mix. And when you tune in for the future shows, you're gonna. I mean, some of these goals are just. I can see some seriously tough ties coming out of this. I really can. Yes. I can think of a couple of goals if they're coming up against each other. Then shit, like I don't know who I'm going to vote for. So, my wife's joined. Hi, wife. Okay, my goal has to win. See, well, this is it. Like, if we're getting people to pick, then I mean, Grant's going to be voting for this one goal throughout the whole thing if it wins. Shit. Okay, so are we ready?
We do a random show and not tell him. Yeah.
Yeah, just a sneaky one on a Wednesday night or something. Shit, did I say Wednesday? I meant Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to turn off all the notifications. Okay. The first goal to come out is this one, which is, if you can read that, Papa Cisse's goal against Chelsea on the 2nd of May 2012. The Swazi volley from the left side of the pitch. God, this is very nerve-wracking, Neil.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm turtling over here.
Is Claire in the other room?
Yep. She might want to get the air freshener.
You said you wanted. You said you wanted to get like a foreign voice on there.
Yeah, I know, but
next goal?
Yeah, but it's different. With the Champions League, it's a bit better. With this, it's just names, isn't it? Okay, the next one. So the goal that will be faced off against Papis Cisse will be Maynor Figueroa versus Stoke City on the 12th of December 2009. So I think that's an easy tie, do we think?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and keep these together.
Versus? Who was it versus?
Stoke.
Stoke.
Okay. Is everyone feeling the suspense at home?
My kind of goal.
Your kind of
Figueroa
goal.
is my kind of goal. Yeah, definitely. Like 7 paces, launch it.
Like it. The next one out is Thierry Henry versus Tottenham Hotspur on the 16th of December 2002. And that goal was going to be faced off against... This is where we need Gabby Logan or someone.
Laura Woods.
Yes. Dalian Atkinson's goal versus Wimbledon.
Dalian.
Yeah, Dalian Atkinson. Pardon moi. On the
God rest his
3rd
soul.
of October 1992. That's a tough one.
Yeah, because that was a peach.
Yeah. If you want to see some X-rated video, watch that goal on YouTube. The closest thing to watching porn that's not porn. Okay, the next one is Neil's pick. Letiz's goal against Newcastle on the 24th of October 1993.
I'll tell you what, if this then comes up against the other Tis goal in now, I won't be happy.
Oh, a tiss off. You'll be
Yeah.
getting in a tiss, won't you, Neil?
I won't be happy. Although that said, at least they'll be guaranteed one going in the next round.
This is true. This is true. It will be faced off against... This is a controversial one. Jack Wilshere's goal against West Brom on the final day of the season, 2015.
I don't think we should open that one to the vote. I think we should just put the Tis through.
Sorry, Neil.
Fuck Wilshire.
The problem is, and this is where the voting system does fail, is obviously that goal won goal of the season. When lots of people said it shouldn't have. It was a hell of a goal, though.
Yeah. It
Well
is a
done,
good
Dan.
spank.
Well done, Dan. Okay. Right. Are you putting these in order, by the way? Out of interest.
Well, I'm
No, okay.
I'm writing them down.
Sorry.
I mean...
Okay. No, I didn't know if we were going to
I'm
do it
writing
in order
down
on the
notes and
shows. Okay, fine.
Oh, no. Well,
Okay,
I'm not putting them in order.
Calm down,
we
Neil,
can,
calm down.
We can randomly select ones.
The tension for draw is
How
getting
were
to you,
you
mate.
expecting me to write it? I don't start writing in the middle of the page and work my way up and then go...
I don't know what to say. The next one out is Ryan Giggs' FA Cup goal against Arsenal on the 14th of April,
Giggsy.
1999.
Just out of interest, while you're drawing these out,
Yes.
the votes are going to be on the chat.
Correct.
Do we get to vote as well?
I think we should have deciding votes. I think we shouldn't come into play unless
Unless...
we have a tie-break situation.
Damn it. Okay, yeah, cool. Oh, your mum could have done the draw. Yeah, look at that.
Jeez, okay, fine.
Pop up.
Fine. Yeah, I'll send them to you. Okay, Ryan Giggs'
Yeah.
goal is going to face off against Tony Yeboah's goal against Wimbledon in
Well, that's
September
easy then,
1995. Well, I know that we would certainly pick Giggsy. Because
Yeah, I'm trying to influence. I'm being an influencer.
what, you're going to be one of
I'm
those
still
Instagram
surprised.
influencers where you get your nips out.
Yeah. I'm not Leon. I'm still surprised your Boa's goal against
I'm glad you're
Wimbledon won. Yeah. Yeah. Against Wimbledon and not the goal he scored against Liverpool a couple of weeks earlier. The Liverpool one I thought was much better.
It was better. Yeah, that one was
Technically better.
Okay, the
This
next
one's
one
a
out.
bobble around and then runs out of space.
Now, if this one had come out one before, that would have been a shit tie. This is Wayne Rooney's goal against Manchester City on the 12th of February 2011. I remember being sat in the pub watching that goal going in, and I made this exact noise when it went. I went, "Ah!" like that. That's the exact noise I made.
I heard that noise on your wedding night.
Did you?
Mm.
I don't remember making that noise.
I
Didn't
know
get
you
lucky,
hadn't
mate.
got back by then.
Don't blame. Fair play. Ooh, this is a stinker. Van Persie's goal against Aston Villa on the 22nd of April
Oh,
2013. The volley, over the shoulder volley.
that was
That's a shame. One of those has got to go, isn't it?
Grant's pick, wasn't it? That was
No,
Grant's pick, wasn't it?
no, that was no. Grant's was the one against Charlton.
Oh,
You're thinking of?
oh yes,
That was his
yes,
goal against Villa, where Rooney played the pass over his shoulder and he hit it on the volley,
yeah,
which
was
effectively
yeah,
sealed the title for Manchester United.
yeah.
God, man. Okay. Okay, now this is my personal favourite. Trevor Sinclair versus Barnsley in the FA Cup. If you
Is
have
that
not
your
seen this
favourite
goal,
of them all? Is it?
pardon?
Is that your favourite? Is it?
That is my favourite. That's the one that if I was to pick a winner out of all of these, that's the one I'd pick.
Really?
Yeah.
Controversial.
It is.
FA Cup goal.
Correct, Dan. Correct, Dan. If once again, if you want to watch a bit of licensed porn, get yourself on YouTube and watch that goal.
Yeah.
It will be facing off against Jamie Vardy's goal versus West Brom on the 10th,
Something as well, eh?
10th of March 2018. It's a good date, that.
Sinclair's will win. Wedding day. We get that.
3 days after the win. It's the 10th. We
Of
got
course it
married on
was.
the
Yeah,
7th.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was there.
Mum's birthday. Yeah, was you?
Ish.
Yeah, likewise.
in person.
Swiftly moving on. Adebayor's goal versus Tottenham. It's not that much of a goal.
That's the one that you didn't rate, and then you watched
I
it
don't
and went,
rate that.
actually,
Nah, I still don't rate it. Still don't rate it.
should never have been a goal of the
Correctamundo.
season winner. Must have been shit
It
goal
goes
season.
up against a fan pick. George's goal. Cristiano Ronaldo versus Portsmouth. The free kick. Knuckleball that David James just watched fly in the back of the net.
He's done that a couple of times, hasn't he? He was
Wouldn't be a first, would it? Bless him.
your Boas against Liverpool was James in goal.
He's just a fucking calamity, that man. Okay. Next one. Emre Can versus Watford on the 1st of May 2017. Once again, another scissor sort of bicycle kick.
And I said to you the other day, I didn't remember that one. I watched it. It's a great strike.
It's a great strike. Yeah, once again, one of those kind of techniquey goals where you can see he's not tried to leather it, he's just watched onto his foot and, circumstances played its role.
Almost a side overhead kick, isn't it?
This one, I can't even remember this goal, but it'll face off against Dele Alli's goal versus Crystal Palace on the 23rd of January.
Oh, that's a great
2018.
one. The little flick over the
16,
guy's head and then the drill in the bottom corner. It's a good goal.
So that's...
But it's Dele Alli, so...
Well, I'm sure he's going to get one vote from Rixie. Okay. We now have...
I don't know, Rixie looks pretty happy about Chan's goal.
I don't know, see? Yeah, but he's a Spurs fan, so... Our next pick is, I hope he's on the chat, is Coop's pick. Yusuf Safri's goal versus Newcastle on the 20th of April 2005.
You'll be pleased to know we are over halfway through our picks as well.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, the ring has relaxed. It's all good. We're rocking all over the world. It faces off against. Remember the name Wayne Rooney versus Middlesbrough. Get my words out. On the 29th of January.
Middlesbrough?
Yeah, Middlesbrough. On the 29th of January 2005. That was an FA Cup goal, I think. I think that
Was it?
Well, no, was that? Yeah, that
No.
was that an FA Cup? I can't remember if that was an FA Cup one or not. Either way,
I don't know.
Safri against Rooney. Will it be Moroccan all over the world, mate? That's the question we're asking ourselves, Danny boy. Okay. And now, another one of... I'm going to say it's a joint pick, this one. It's Eric Cantona's goal versus Sunderland on the 21st of December 1996. If you don't know that goal, trust me, you do know it.
It's the celebration more than anything else in that.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I had my... you know the picture I sent you from the wedding? I had my collar up. I don't know if you remember.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to do the Cantona. I'm in France, I'm going to do the Cantona. It will be faced off against a fellow Manchester United player in Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney's goal against Bolton on the 17th of March 2007. Which was, once again, another great goal.
Yeah. I think Cantona should go through based on the fact
of
this. I think Rooney may go through once already.
And to be fair, we've got one French person that's going to vote for Cantona, so...
Which, Rooney versus... Sorry.
Versus Bolton. Versus Bolton on the 17th of March. 2007.
That's cool.
Next one is... Glenn Johnson. Don't laugh, Neil. Versus Hull City on the 22nd of November 2008. Well, it's the only thing that Glenn Johnson done in his career, bless him.
Yeah. And he'd done it against a doomed Hull team.
It hasn't, Grant. We've genuinely not rigged it. Rooney has won the most goal of the season awards. 3 in total. The only person to have won it consecutively is Jack Wilshere, so he's still to come out. There's plenty of Arsenal goals in there. Trust me. Okay, the next one is one that I don't agree with. Vincent Kompany versus Leicester City on the 6th of May last year.
It was a great goal, and you know what? And it's in there purely because of what it was.
I was going to say, it's only in there because of the magnitude of the goal.
It won in the league, and it was also already announced that Kompany was going at the end of the season. That's the only reason.
And he was a BBC pundit as well at that time, wasn't he? Or he had
BBC
been.
or ITV. Yeah.
He had been. Okay.
Yeah, he'd done some bits for one of them. Yeah.
The next one is the first BBC goal of the year to have been voted in the 2000s. It's Paolo Di Canio's goal versus Wimbledon on the 26th of May 2000.
Considering the length of time Wimbledon spent in the Prem,
they've been on the receiving end.
They conceded a few goals of the seasons, didn't you?
They have.
They did. Yeah.
I think you got your season ticket money in advance, really, didn't you? You knew you was going to see a banger or two when you went to go see the Dons. So, not usually from one of your players either. Okay.
No.
It goes up against Jack Wilshere's goal versus Norwich on the 19th of October 2014. That is a tight one.
Goals.
That is a tight. Oh, we're getting down. We've got 3 more ties left by the looks of it. Give the bowl a quick little shaky shake.
We should have 4. Should have 4.
Okay.
We've got 12 so far, I think.
I think you're right. I've not really been looking at the tickets.
Yep, we've got 12.
Okie dokie,
So
right.
4 more.
The next one out is Dietmar Hamann versus Portsmouth on the 17th of March 2004.
Portsmouth have conceded a couple as well.
David James. It will go up against Granty Baby's pick, Robin Van Persie versus Charlton on the 30th of September 2006. The cushioned volley.
Yeah.
Pure technique. Class of the man. Ooh, We nearly lost a ticket there. Okay. Next one out is Le God, Matt Letitia versus Blackburn Rovers.
This is Blackburn.
On the 10th of December, 1994.
Winner. Don't even need the next one.
Do you think that's going to be a contender later on in the draw?
Oh, I would question our viewers if it's not. For those who haven't seen it, it's going to be, bearing in mind the age of some of the guys in the chat. It's going to be pre them, or at least they would have been very young.
Dennis Bergkamp versus Newcastle.
Oh, fuck off.
On the 2nd of March 2002.
It is.
I think when we see the goals, it's gonna. I mean, yeah. When we see the goals,
Bergkamp's is
class.
Bergkamp's is a special goal.
It's class, but it's not. It's not weaving in and out of players and then sticking it in the top corner from the best part of 30 yards, is it?
Against one of the best keepers in the league at the time. Yeah,
precisely. How's about this for a draw? Dennis Bergkamp comes out once again versus Leicester
Could have played
City
himself off
on the 27th of August 1997.
Great goal.
Great goal.
As I said the other day, 27th of August 1997. Imagine seeing that goal and knowing that you're not going to see a better goal that season. 3 weeks or a week into the season, knowing you're not going to see a better goal that season.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Great shout, Granty. Yeah, watch some of the goals, buddy. But we are going to show them live during the show. Just remember that we will be showing the goals, and then you can make a decision. So if you can't remember, if you're not making notes, we will be showing you the goals during the show, so you can make your decisions then. Okay?
Yeah, we will put them. We'll put the list of these up on Facebook as well. So if you've got the link on Facebook, you'll be able to see.
Yeah.
But what we won't do is we won't say which ones are being done each week.
Yeah.
That will be random.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So the Dennis Bergkamp goal against Leicester faces off against Rod Wallace's goal versus Tottenham Hotspur on the 17th of April 1994, which once again is a hell of a goal.
It is a hell of a goal, but I think Bergkamp against Leicester's better, which means Lettice should be allowed to go through. But yes, the Rod Wallace goal is a good goal. Very good goal.
So I'm proud to say we have got 2 left.
Last round.
Thank fuck for that.
Last round.
That was like the most nerve-wracking thing. I've lost one or something. Okay, so the first one out, it was Gerrard's goal in the FA Cup final against West Ham.
Oh,
on the 13th of May, 2006.
Yeah, day of the wedding.
So it will face off against Sean Bartlett's goal versus Leicester City on the 1st of April 2002. Yes, you can join in and vote. So the vote is going to be on every show. Every show we're going to face these goals off against each other. Now we've done the full draw. Yeah. These are the ties. This is a round of 16. We are going to ask you, the people that are viewing this show, to pick your favourite goal. You are going to decide our ultimate goal of the Premier League era. Once we have...
So I'll do a quick...
once we've got obviously these ties done, we're going to do these over the next few down the local shows. Once these ties are done, we're going to have another draw to determine our last 8 goals, which will be the quarterfinal stage? Quarterfinal stage. Don't know.
It'll be last 8. Yeah, this is 16, so it'll be last 8.
16,
yeah.
So yeah. So we're then gonna, and then obviously we'll do the same thing over the following shows until we go into a semi-final, and then we can have our final 2, and then once we've picked our favourite goal, I don't know, maybe I think we should post like a trophy to the winner or something.
Yeah, post them a certificate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a special little certificate. Well done for kicking a ball.
Goal of the 28 years.
Yeah, the DTLFC ultimate goal winner, which I'm sure they're going to put with pride. on their.
Oh yeah, if it's not up on the wall,
Oh mate, I'll be
I
pleased.
expect Letitia. I expect Letitia to hold up his certificate in front of everyone on Sky Sports News.
Oh, definitely. I'm still up for doing. So obviously, Neil, I'll let you recap the draw in a moment, but
Yeah, so we'll go through.
Just to let everyone know, we are going to complete our Champions League draw as well on Thursday. This Thursday show, we're going to follow up on our Fantasy Champions League. So if you were here for the quarterfinal stage of our Champions League draw, we picked our semi-finals, and now we're gonna decide who's going to be in our final. So, but Neil, if you could very kindly run through our face-offs for the DTLFC Ultimate Goal.
I'll do our Ultimate Goal one, and then also I'll quickly recap who we had facing off in the semi-finals of our Fantasy Champions League as well, just as a reminder. So, Ultimate Goal. We have Papa Cisse versus Chelsea versus Manuel Figueroa against Stoke. We have Thierry Henry versus Spurs against Dalian Atkinson versus Wimbledon. We have Letitia versus Newcastle versus Jack Wilshere against West Brom. We have Ryan Giggs versus Arsenal against Tony Yeboah versus Wimbledon. We have Wayne Rooney versus Man City against Van Persie versus Villa. We have Trevor Sinclair versus Barnsley against Jamie Vardy versus West Brom. We have Emmanuel Adebayor versus Spurs against Cristiano Ronaldo versus Portsmouth. We have Emre Can versus West Ham against Dele Alli versus Palace. We have Yusuf Safri versus Newcastle against Wayne Rooney versus Middlesbrough. Eric Cantona versus Sunderland against Wayne Rooney versus Bolton. We have Glenn Johnson versus Hull against Vincent Kompany versus Leicester. There's going to be 2 crap goals in the quarterfinal, isn't there? Or one of them at least. Paolo Di Canio versus Wimbledon against Jack Wilshere versus Norwich. Dietmar Hamann versus Portsmouth against Robin Van Persie versus Charlton. Letitia versus Blackburn against Dennis Bergkamp versus Newcastle. Dennis Bergkamp again versus Leicester against Rod Wallace versus, I didn't write down who, and Stephen Gerrard versus Tottenham, was it? Stephen Gerrard versus West Ham against Sean Bartlett versus Leicester. So that concludes the draw for the Ultimate Goal, which will, as Sean said, commence on Thursday. We will also go over again, as said, the Champions League fantasy. So for those of you who missed it originally, we looked at where the Champions League stopped. We had half of the round of 16 complete. So we then done our own predictions of who we thought would progress from the games that weren't finished, the second leg games that didn't happen. We ended up with a random generated draw of Atalanta versus Atletico Madrid, Barca versus Leipzig, Bayern versus Juve, PSG versus Man City. From that, we then predicted again who we thought may win. And we ended up with Atletico versus Man City and Barca versus Bayern in our semi-finals. These will run through an emulator for the 2 legs during the next few days, which will then give us our semi-final results and our 2 finalists, which we will then do again at a later point.
Superb. Yes. Obviously, we'd like your opinions. Come Thursday, when we begin the show, please start telling us who you think is going to make it into the DTLFC Fantasy Champions League final. Neil will be conducting the emulators, so we get an idea of who's going to be making it into there. We'll obviously be debating. We're going to look at the strengths of both of those sides, the key players in those games, and then obviously Neil will be able to elaborate a bit more on how they influence the games, who effectively could get to the final. When we get to the final, how do you think we should do this, Neil? Do you think we should open this up to a debate, or should we go down emulating the games and then picking a winner?
I think if we'll see how the emulation goes for the semi-final, and if it works out all right, I reckon we should do the same again.
Cool.
For the final.
And then what we'll do is we're gonna christen that team with our own DTLFC Champions League trophy. I don't know what's happened to you there, Neil.
Shrunk.
Yeah, what's happened to you? You disappeared.
It's an age thing, mate. It's an age thing.
So we'll get that done, and I think it'll be a bit of a laugh. We'll post it to them and see if we get any response. So yeah, be sure to tune in for that, and let's see what we get back in response. So I think that'll be a bit of fun.
Yes.
Okay. Neil, thanks so much for helping with that draw. Thank you for making notes of all of those. I have kept all the tickets together, so I'll do my best to try and keep them together, and we can keep them for the next round. So guys, please come back on Thursday. Come back on Thursday and help vote for what goal you want to go through. We can't say which three or what four even that we are going to be putting up for selection on Thursday. So please come back if you have a favourite. Come back and make sure that your favourite's going to be there, and you make sure it gets through into the next round. So make sure you're back on Thursday for that. Neil, before we start to wrap up the show, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, just to sort of elaborate, as I say, we'll get these the draw put up onto Facebook on the Facebook page. So if you've not already gone on to the Down the Local Facebook page, get yourself on there like that. It will then give you reminders of when we're online, the questions and topics that we may be talking about. If you've not liked, followed Sean's Twitch feed, do that. It's not my Twitch feed, it is Sean's. Like that one at the top. So again, it'll give you an idea of when things are happening and what's going on online. Yep. But we will get those goals put on the Facebook page. If not tonight, definitely tomorrow. So you can get ahead of the game and just relive some classic moments over the last 27 years of the Premier League and FA Cup.
Cal was just asked on the Facebook, was Rooney's goal versus Newcastle in our draw? I don't think it was it?
Well, if you tuned in earlier, Callum.
it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. For some reason, no. Rooney's goals versus.
He had a goal against Middlesbrough, Bolton, and Manchester City.
Man City, yeah.
But no, his goal against Newcastle, it doesn't make it in. Bizarrely, I have to find out what year that was.
That was his first season he was there, wasn't it? That was when he was having the argument with the ref and then just turned around and spanked it.
Just spanked it in the top corner.
It was one of his early games because he scored the hat-trick on his debut against Fenerbahce, and I'm pretty sure he done it. But no, it wasn't, and ridiculously not, because it was a pin. But when did he sign for Manchester United? What year?
2006? We saying 6?
Yeah, I'd be intrigued to see.
Let's
could it be 5?
Let's see if we can find out for you, Cal. We'll do this for you, Cal.
Yeah. Because I'd be intrigued to see who won it that year, for him to not get that.
Rooney signed in 2004. So,
right.
The 2004-2005 goal of the season was... Goal of the season. Let's just pick this up. 2004-2005... Wayne Rooney won the goal of the season that year for his goal against Middlesbrough at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. So
cool. We go then.
Should we have a quick look and see that goal, just so we can clarify how, what and why?
Yeah, he did score a couple of absolute bangers.
He did.
In that first season. First few games, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. So, Cal, if you're watching, buddy, this is the reason that goal against Newcastle doesn't make it in. We'll see it in a moment. It's going to be Rooney's goal in the FA Cup. Quinton Fortune. Wow, what a lad. We'll see it at some point. That isn't it. Don't worry, that's John O'Shea. Poking one in the back of the net.
I was going to say.
Don't worry, lads. This is just a highlight.
I was going to say that was never a goal of the season
No,
winner.
no. I don't know. It's John
This is
O'Shea's
it.
goal. Okay, it's that.
Nothing special.
No.
Keeper's well off his line.
Yeah.
Smashed
Controversial.
it over him, hasn't he?
Yeah. Unless there's a better one. It might be that one. Oh, it might be that one. I think it's that one. I think that's what won goal of the year.
Yeah,
The volley.
that's the one. Yeah, outside of the boot volley.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fair enough, I think.
I mean,
think that's
the
fair.
one against Newcastle was an absolute ping as well.
But it's no different than the
Hard to-
Yeboah's one where he basically just hits it as hard as he can, it goes in the back of the net. And like we said, there's
That's true.
not much
That's
behind
true.
that. Not much behind that. Okay,
No.
guys, let's finish up. So Thursday we've got a serious show. We need to pick out some winners from this, and we need your help doing it. Please come back on Thursday. Thank you everyone who's stuck around, stuck in the chat, been asking us questions, getting involved. It's been awesome. Tonight has been the first time where we've had so many questions being fired our way, and it makes our show so much better when you guys interact with us. So thank you so much. I'll be back again on Wednesday, and then we are going to be back at 7:30 on Thursday to define our Champions League final and also start picking your goals out.
Tell your friends. Bring them along.
Get everyone along. Anyone who knows anything or has any interest in football, get them along and get them to vote. Get them on here asking.
Even if they don't.
Yeah.
Just come along. Get to watch some great goals. Make them like football.
Yeah, make them like football. It will also be on the Facebook as well.
Show them all the best bits. Yeah.
For the people that are watching on the Facebook Live, we will be showing this on there again. It is going to be a regular thing, the Facebook Live, so don't feel as though you're missing out by not being on the Twitch. I can see what you're saying, and your votes will be included. You don't have to just be on Twitch to vote in this. We can still do that through the Facebook. Thank you so much, lads. Thank you so much. It's been a brilliant show. I appreciate you getting involved. And we're going to be back again on Thursday at 7:30 to start our goal of the Premier League era. I can't wait. There's some sick ties in there. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be banging.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you all again soon.
Yep.
So very much. Look after
Cheers,
yourselves.
guys. Thank you very much.